Good morning. It's Wednesday, and I kind of fell off last night. I had my Carolina Reaper experience, which I still feel like a moron about. I had the whole pepper thing, and then I've been trying to connect with a friend I've been friends with for a really long time who I haven't told the story to. So we finally connected last night. It's such an interesting thing to tell the story, and I had to kind of, maybe I was just doing it for me, but try and justify. That's one of the weird things in this situation that I never really appreciated. You know, I've been in this breakup for more than 5.5 months. It's awful. It sucks. Every day it sucks. Let me take that back. The past couple weeks, the days have not sucked as much. The pain has been different. I was feeling kind of guilty for not telling my friend, it's a she, why I hadn't told her anything. And she said, you know, she kind of picked up from my Instagram post that something was kind of wrong, but she didn't know, she didn't want to push, blah, blah, blah. You know, and that's totally fine, I get it. But it's a weird thing, you know, when you go through a breakup kind of like this, where it's, you know, kind of a catastrophic blindside. And I felt guilty for not telling her, like I was keeping secrets. And it's not that. What it is when you first get blindsided the way I did, you don't want to tell anyone. You think, like, this is terrible, this is horrible, this has got to be a mistake, this has got to be a blip. So you just kind of grit your teeth and bear it alone. Or maybe you tell one or two people because you're desperate, which I was. But you think, this makes no sense. In my case, 7-year relationship versus like fledgling thing with other guy. At least that was my perspective at the time. She'll come back, she's having a thing. And then your life falls apart. And time goes on and you suffer and you endure and you go to therapy and you cry and you lose weight and you do all the things. It's just awful. It's just the most awful thing. And then what happens is by the time you realize, yeah, she's not coming back, or maybe not fully realize, but are pretty sure, enough time has passed where it would be awkward to start telling people, or it feels awkward to start telling people. What I know now is just tell them. It doesn't matter. Just tell people when you can, when you need people, just reach out to people. Pride is such a stupid thing that keeps you from doing stuff. You know, I wish I had gotten to a point at which I just told people, as opposed to this constant retelling of the story. You know, it wasn't fun last night to sit down and tell the whole story again. The act of retelling definitely brings up a little bit of reliving. You look at it through a different lens, and I guess that's okay to re-examine it from a different, hopefully more healthy position, but it still sucks to talk about the first few nights when she was back and how painful that was, and it's not fun. I imagine that's a common thing people go through. I don't know. My attempt to be classy and controlled in the beginning, to not tell people, to sort of just kind of to keep her secret. You know, she did this thing. I didn't do anything. She did this thing. So I maintained, I kept her secret and was really confident that she'd come back, that she, you know, when she first moved out, that she would realize what she had lost in terms of me and the dog and the house and our marriage and our relationship, and she'd come back. 100% certainty that she was just having some kind of crazy episode. And I was wrong. I was dead wrong. I guess I'm just kind of curious, and maybe I'll just pose it as a question that people can comment on. Is that what happens in a situation like this? Do people sort of stay quiet, and then once they realize it's over, is it awkward to tell people after time has passed? Even now, 5.5 months in, there's people I haven't told. You know, maybe they've sort of gathered it, and I'm starting to get to the point at which it doesn't matter anymore, who knows, because I'm not saving face. Like, it's never coming back. People are never going to look at her and I and be like, oh, like they're the perfect couple. Like, no, definitely not. Because what I haven't found out there is a lot of people going through this kind of situation being expressive about it. Like, it's a very lonely process. So, like, am I normal? Is this a normal way to go through such a terrible breakup? Come on, let's go. It's weird to be back on the rhythm of going to school like this. And now we're back to the same rhythm. That's not bad. I mean, I love my job. I told my attorney yesterday that I was going to work on my my counteroffer last night. He doesn't actually care when I get my counteroffer done. You know, he offered to look it over. I feel this strange guilt. Like, I told him I was going to do this thing, and I didn't. Like, he's going to wake up this morning being like, oh, I hope I get Ken's counteroffer, and, you know, I blocked out this time. He didn't. Like, my counteroffer is so stupid simple. Like, my divorce is a nothing, which is so funny. Well, not funny, but so strange to me because it's everything to me. You know, it represents a humongous life change. Like, it's huge. It's preoccupied the last 6 months of my life. And for him, it's like this dumb little like noodly thing. So I feel this pressure to get my counteroffer done, but ultimately it doesn't really matter. The sooner I do it, it facilitates her life. Essentially, I'm going to write this counteroffer that will seem somewhat outrageous, but it's actually fair, but she's gonna flip out. And then I don't know. Thank you for listening, and I hope you have a great day. I will see you more in about 7 hours. I'll see you then. Hey, school is done, and that was a good day. I'm not gonna lie, I'm not in love with my current schedule. It's sort of a challenge to teach one class and then have 2+ hours prep. It's not enough time to go do the things I need to do, like shop for supplies, but it feels like wasted time. So I need to figure out a way to make it more effective. I don't want to be at school not working on schoolwork, so maybe it'll be a time when I shoot videos or something. It's just good problems. I have a job that I love at a place that I love. I have a break that's inconveniently placed. I'll be fine. I wrote up a draft of my counteroffer and I emailed it to my attorney to just have him look over. And I haven't heard back. My wife texted the group text and asked, it's funny, it's like, hello, .. She's such a big fan of the M- now. It's really sort of cold and impersonal. I don't know. It's just funny. Has anyone heard from the attorney? And I don't know how to answer. I don't know what my position is. I have heard from him. In fact, I've met with him. So I've just said nothing. I sent him my rough draft of my counteroffer. He's gonna look it over and tell me what he thinks. And I also asked him, I was like, are you planning on talking to the mediator, or, what's up with that? Because I don't know what to say on this group chat. I don't want to respond and be like, he saw your text and he's not responding to you. Like, I don't know what legal strategies are. It's not my world. I don't want it to be my world. At this point, I want to be done. I want it to be fair. He had a quote yesterday when I met with him that I really liked about, I'm expected to give more, but she has more to give. And I sort of liked that. She doesn't feel like she should have to pay me anything, but she has the means, and I don't. Like, my bank account is very finite, very, very finite. And it's not like there's more coming in, which is not what I can say for her. So I have this fear that I'll be perceived of as a gold digger or have ulterior motives. And the fact is, if she cared about me in the ways that she said she does, she would be trying to be fair and help me out, instead of doing it the way she's trying to do it. She basically just wants to stop and walk away. I mean, when you get married, that's not the case anymore. And the gender thing does play in. If the situation was reversed, I'm sure she would pursue spousal support. So the fact that I'm a man and she's a woman doesn't change it. Like, isn't that being a progressive culture and open-minded and all that? Like, it's just what it is. It's just math. The purpose of spousal support is to support a lifestyle. And I mean, what I'm doing in the meantime is moving to a place that I can make work regardless of this divorce situation. And the truth is, it's a much different lifestyle. It's almost a third as big as where I live. It's definitely not as nice. It's definitely not nearly as nice a part of the neighborhood. So my lifestyle has changed a lot. And I'm still scared about bills. Like it's not like I'm living that way and have tons of cash left over. This new place is at the upper limit of what I can swing. Yeah, I think her helping me is fair. She's moving from the life she had with me to a much more extravagant life. I've been thinking about that, and I guess that's the work you need to do to feel justified in moving forward in the way that I'm moving forward. I'm gonna send this counteroffer when I get approval on it, and I think it's gonna start a firestorm of her being outraged. Maybe she will counter, or maybe she will get an attorney. I don't know. It's all gonna suck. I've been thinking a lot about the events of last night and how to tell it as a story. I'm trying to figure out if it's a metaphor for my relationship. I went to a place I trusted, and I ordered freely because I trusted the place, and I got really badly burned. And to the same end, that is what happened with her. You trusted her. And the trust in a relationship, it frees you up to have more energy for positivity. She went away on that trip and I trusted her, so I didn't have to for a week worry that she was cheating on me with somebody else. I trusted her, so I missed her, but I didn't have to waste energy on being jealous. And because I wasn't suspicious the whole time, I got burned. And the first thing I thought when the fire started, I thought about when I was a little kid and when I went with my family to Bennigan's. I got a pasta dish, but somebody had mistaken the tomato sauce for like a Tabasco-based sauce, like maybe cocktail sauce for shrimp, but it was hot.
And I remember eating it and telling my mom, it's really hot. And my mom told me, stop complaining, just cool it off and eat it. My mom's not a cruel woman. My mom is very kind. But I remember the feeling of sitting there having to eat this burning hot food. I flashed back to that and I thought, somebody in the kitchen here has made a mistake. It's a new restaurant and somebody has made an error. I've just come up to the horse show to see my trainer ride and to just get back to something I really enjoy and miss. So I'm here and I'm happy. When my wife and I first got together, when we were dating and I moved to San Diego and everything was going so remarkably well, I always had this sense of waiting for the other shoe to drop. The sense of things can't be this good. I'd kind of forgotten that till now. I did, this nagging sense, this is amazing. I love her and she loves me just as much. And we're living in a cool place and we both have jobs and we're in this great city. Like, wow. Nobody gets to be this happy. And it was a nagging sense of something's gonna happen, another shoe's gonna drop. And it took a couple years for that fear to go away, for that sort of cynical sense of it can't be this good. That amazing woman wanted to marry me. She was disappointed when I didn't propose earlier. And it was still pretty soon. Wow, yeah, it was her 1L year. Yeah, 8 months after we moved to San Diego, I proposed. That's fast. I wonder how soon it will be till he proposes. I wonder if he has proposed. I was just thinking about that sense of too good to be true. And eventually I put it to rest because of what we were talking about before, because of time and trust and relationships growing and deepening and lives getting intertwined and knitted together and all those beautiful things that you can only get through time and experience. And I wonder now, was this the other shoe dropping? Did it just take longer? Or did I have some spidey sense or was I just kind of cynical? When I first got broken up with, I wasn't training with these people. It was just a series of events. I was training with Greg, and then the situation there changed. You could only train with him if you had a horse, and I don't. I got passed off to this other barn. I started training with them. Now they're some of the most important relationships I currently have. They're people I really care about and like seeing regularly. That's why I spent the summer at the barn. And life is funny like that, isn't it? Things that present themselves at times that you don't expect. Maybe it's more about your openness to accepting them than things miraculously always presenting themselves. Maybe things are always being presented, but when I was in the relationship with her, I was less open to it because I was so focused on her. I didn't say yes to opportunities because I was fully invested in a different thing. Now, I don't look at that now thinking, mistake. The only reason I might think mistake is because she broke my heart, because she trashed my life. But that, that's retroactive. When I was in the moment, I could not have been happier. Let's listen to The Cure together. That's kind of a breakup band, isn't it? Mush. Happy face. Hey, I feel like we haven't checked in. How's the captive life? Are you being abused or waterboarded? I know they're all alternative training methods that I don't believe in, but I hope you're okay. I understand I'm not allowed to touch you, but if you can, just the little latch over here, down here. If you can get that latch open, slide the door and run. Just run. Run free. Good luck. I have a boat waiting for you in the harbor. If you can make it to the harbor, you can go free. Just get to the harbor. This is me and Norman. Oh, you're so cute. Sunset's in 20 minutes. I'm just gonna drive to the edge of the ocean and watch the sunset and then go home. I don't think I'm gonna shoot it. I don't think I'm gonna do anything fancy. I think I'm gonna just go watch it. For me, it sounds nice. Just have a moment. I do miss my old life in that I always had somebody to hang out with. Even a night with nothing planned meant I was gonna hang out with her and it was gonna be great and fun because we pretty much always had fun together. Even if other stuff had to happen, we enjoyed each other's company immensely. Even watching something dumb on TV was still fun. And that gets to the root of the friendship thing. Even if she fell out of love with me, we were still amazing friends, and you don't treat your friends like that. I just need to come out and say something, honestly, that I've never told you before. I love ABBA. I love the band ABBA, the 70s Swedish supergroup ABBA. I think is fantastic. I have a thing for Swedish and Norwegian pop. I like it. If I never heard Dancing Queen again in my life, that would be okay. I'm so tired of that song. They have so many other songs I think are better. Dancing Queen just came on the radio and literally I was like, ugh. And it's a great song. It's just so heavily overplayed and so overknown by everybody on earth that I could be okay if I never heard Dancing Queen again. I have a list of songs I could never hear again. I didn't know Dancing Queen was on that list until now, but American Pie by Don McLean, I could never hear that song again and be totally fine. Material Girl by Madonna, and I think Madonna's fantastic. I'm just so sick of that song. Just, ugh. Anytime it comes on, I'm like, ugh, change. I'm sure there's more, but those are three that come to mind right now. And I love music. I love music. It's just, songs can get killed for me. All right, I'll see you at the ocean. Bye.
Well, hello from the ocean. That's not too shabby. I'm glad we're here. I'm glad we came. I'm just gonna put the camera down, let you watch. I'll watch it with you, and then I'll see you after that.
I was just thinking about my wife, how my feelings towards her have sort of modified a little bit. Typically when I get an email or a text or a phone call from her, it hits me, it gets that electric shock feeling, and probably still happens. But now coupled with it is this sort of feeling of dread. I think because of this whole quitclaim thing and the whole attorney thing, she texted the group thread earlier today and asked if I'd heard from the attorney, if there had been any word from the attorney. And I didn't answer because I don't know what to say. And that makes me feel weird because I am a communicator. I am wide open, and to go dormant feels unkind. And I'm just not good at this maneuvering. It's not natural for me. I want to be with somebody that I can be open with, that I can be myself, and then it can just be a genuine experience. The person I'm with knows me completely and accepts me, and I know them and accept them, and we just have a thing. Wouldn't that be nice? Wouldn't that be an ideal? And I wonder how much of a fantasy that is. Is that not real life for most people? Because I'm not sure I know what's real anymore. If I've been in this 7-year-long thing that was maybe not super truthful, I don't know that I know what a genuine relationship feels like. And I had a friend tell me, because she'd been in a situation similar to mine, that when you start dating someone who's not like my wife is, she said, you might find it kind of boring, but it's healthier. And that's such a weird concept to me, because I loved my relationship, loved it. So going into a relationship that's healthier but more boring is sort of like, I don't want to do my potential future partner a disservice by settling for them, or like settling for boring because it's safer than the thing I had. You know, that's a weird concept. And I'm scared of meeting someone and falling hard for them and feeling like, or fearing that I'm being manipulated. I'm legitimately scared that I'm broken in that way. I think realistically, I'm a romantic and I will always take a chance on love. Like, I will always risk it because the reward is just so great. Like, when you love someone and they love you, it is the greatest thing. It is. Like, there's nothing greater.